All right, fellas. I was just looking at what we've done. We've done an amazing feat. So let me be the first to congratulate you on this very large accomplishment. Anytime you accomplish something, you should first, if you believe, thank God you had the strength and the wherewithal to complete it. Then you got to really give yourself credit. There aren't many people who can start something and go through the ups and downs of completing all the requirements to get to the end of it. There's just not many. Second, pat yourself on the back and realize you're a different man. Then you want to realize that not only are you a different man, you grew so extraordinarily, you almost don't know yourself. It's a mistake to not give yourself accolades for the things you've accomplished. You know, you're a different man than you were at the beginning of 1.0. You just are. You want to look in the mirror and see an improved version of you, not a lie. You want to look in the mirror and see you have really improved. Last but not in any way least, is you've learned an intricate part of being able to stand in quicksand and not sink. You've learned the power of being you. I'm telling you, bro, you do not understand how strong that is. You may, because if you may admit how much faking you've been doing, that you had been doing. You can now be you without the makeup and pretending. I mean, come on, man. You had grown so used to doing this stuff that now just a weight is going to be lifted from you. This course has created a new you. And for you to benefit from this new you, everything you learned must be stored in the far reaches of your mind. You've done something that PhD students haven't done. You've touched bases with the inner you and have realized the outer you at the same time. You realize both inner and outer have things to say that are pertinent to your life. So suffice it to say, you've learned that they both have powerful things to say. But now you know which one to listen to. Sometimes you think you want to say or do something, but something inside of you is preventing you from moving on it. This is the inner and outer you confronting one another, and you're the only one who can solve the dilemma. The way you do that is by making a choice, because you have also learned that you cannot be wrong. Sad to say, there is no diploma you're going to receive if you don't do what you're supposed to do, but what you did receive, what you will receive, even if you don't get the diploma, is an opportunity to come to SWU in order to really get that diploma. Now, there is no diploma for you because you're basically not in the school. So I can't give you a diploma. But what you did receive is an education and something that you should and could master. But because of society, a lot of young men miss this crucial information in being a man. What I've done is reintroduced you to the real you. In 1.0, you stripped away any of the fake or pretending that you was doing. as we cleaned your garden. You started organizing ways to get to the next point in the course so you could grow. It's very important to face the truth as often as it comes in front of as soon as it comes in front of you. The truth is the light. It's the light for you to see your way through the maze of becoming a man. And you becoming a man. In 2.0, we started developing ways to think and how to promote getting what you want from thinking correctly. You also started on the discipline you're going to need to truly get the benefit from this course. As you went through 2.0, you were also developing the philosophy of manhood that you're going to live by. This is not a philosophy that you have written down. This is the philosophy of the man who lives in the moment. As much as he lives in the predetermined world he has created for himself. Otherwise, you live in the moment in the world that you're out, whatever is going on, but you're also living in a world that you created for yourself. Your mentality, your thoughts, everything about what you see is based or shaped on your thoughts. You've learned to be sharp, and even though you've learned when to be sharp. And that's every single waking moment of your life. You've been trained, and this is the main reason 3.0 is so important to you now. Go to the mirror at this moment and look at yourself as you listen to this last part of the course. If you're there, you should look in the mirror for a moment. Look at your face. If a smile didn't come to your face because of who was looking back at you, no harm done, but you probably should go over the course again. Every morning you should look at your face in detail. You want to notice any area of your face that can be improved, from how your eyebrows and hairline look to the way your goatee is shaped. Because all of this matters in the makeup of who you are. You've grown to know the kind of critique you would accept and which kind you won't. You've even learned to approach women and not be concerned with the outcome. I can go on and on about what you've learned, but I pointed out the things you've learned to try to ease the impact of me telling you to forget it all. Yes, you heard me. Forget everything we've learned. 3.0 is about forgetting the things you learned in this course. There is a method to my madness, and if you follow this part of the course, you'll understand the benefits of doing as I suggest you do. When a kid learns a sport, most time he keeps in mind the rudiments of that sport until he gets to the level of truly organized must-win sports at the university and pro levels. Once you get to that level, there'll be a few standouts, and they'll get the most attention as far as the coach seeing where his scores are coming from. That's the level of athletes. That's the level the athletes learn to stop thinking about what to do and do it as naturally as possible. You can't do something naturally if you're constantly thinking about it. Did you hear me? You can't do something naturally if you're constantly thinking about it. This is why you have to forget it. No matter how smooth you get with it, long as you're thinking about it, it ain't gonna be natural. We want the information you have acquired to become natural to you. And if you continue to need to remind yourself that you're no longer on the sidelines, that you undoubtedly are still on the sideline, excuse me, I said that wrong. If you continually need to remind yourself that you are no longer on the sidelines, then you undoubtedly are still on the sidelines and you need to wake up. A star back in the NFL would be on the sidelines every game if he had to think of what to do. At one point, things important in life should become instinct, especially if you practice and live it. How does the star make that cut and stay on his feet? How can he concentrate to such a degree, catch that ball with all these people getting ready to tackle his ass? Everything going on in the game is to prevent him from doing what he does, but he's able to do it. The answer to all the questions are the same. He was so involved in what it takes to be qualified, to be a qualified star, that the information he learned about became instinct to him, and he began to play naturally to his ability. This is what I want you to concentrate on, to allow your reactions to be as natural as possible. It's not easy to be smooth. If you can't get comfortable enough to be natural, you'll never be smooth. To make sure you accomplish this, you must truly be into the think it, do it mentality. From this point on, you'll stop thinking about something and do that something. We're taking for granted you're not going to think some illegal bullshit. And if you do, I ain't talking about nothing except when you think something concerning getting at a woman. I ain't thinking about nothing crazy. I ain't talking about nothing crazy. You want to think it, do it. You've been so into thinking it and thinking about doing it until you didn't run yourself into a rut. You can't get in a rut now because you believe you've transformed, and you have. But the transformation won't be completed until you're able to respond instinctively. You not only want to respond on instinct, you want to act on instinct. Instead of thinking of what to do, soon you're gonna find yourself doing something with a woman before you can even realize you spoke to her. I'm telling you, 3.0 is a part of the course that people on the path to genius cannot be taught. Any great man who becomes great because of something he created for himself to follow is a truly great man. You wanted a more assertive you. And you have 85% of that now. To get the other 15% depends on how serious you are about forgetting what you've learned. Or to put it in a better way, you must be serious about learning how to compartmentalize this information. If you hesitate, even a fraction of a moment, that slight hesitation can throw off your rhythm. If you get good at something, you'll never be caught thinking about what to do with that something. While you're learning how to compartmentalize this information, you'll see that it's simple. Just as I've said about 1 and 2.0 of this course, this 3.0 is the same. Every time you catch yourself thinking about what to do to get at a woman, pass on her and put that thought into a part of your mind where it can have be intentionally accessed to come to your mind at a later date. Then the very next woman you bump into, start talking and try to get her to talk for a few minutes, anything more than a hello. In doing this, you're forcing yourself to think it, do it. The moment you recognize you was thinking about saying something to the woman, remember, you got to pass on her. You got to compartmentalize that fact, and the very next woman you see, you're going to speak to her without hesitation. I can only tell you that you need to compartmentalize this information. But it's up to you to do it in a way you won't forget the new power you have without it being in the front of your mind. A couple other things before we're done here. We all going to run into conversations where you can see it's not leading to where you want it to go. So we'll have to flip it. We'll have to flip it on. Flipping is a cool way to take the keywords of a conversation you're having with a woman that's not going the way you want it to go, and you just take it and change it into something. The key words you take, you assign the meanings to You assign the meaning that you wanted to have uh, pressed on the woman. If she says that she's tired, you could tell her that you're tired of meeting people who are in poor health. Then you would continue with the topic of tired people and emphasize that you're not talking about her, but you've had your fill of meeting tired people who don't take care of themselves. So that woman will be denying that she's tired. She's gonna adjust what she meant to what she meant she was saying. Flipping it is good for when you see the woman is trying to play pussy games with you. A lot of women like to dick tease dudes. So when you're involved in something like that, you say to her that she's turned you off with her antics, and at that point, do the takeaway. The takeaway is admitting that you would love to be with her, but it's hard for you to see past her dick tease bullshit, and she forever has turned you off. I guarantee you, she will throw that pussy at you. But you got to play past it and make it another time that'll be better for you to hook up with her. I never fuck a bitch who I can see she's playing pussy games with me. And it never fails. After I take my interest off the table, she never does it again with me. The important part of this too is that for you to realize that if you want this male confidence to attach to you and become an intricate part of you, a part of your personality, you must forget. You must forget what you've learned and allow it to become natural. The absolute best way to achieve this is to revisit the entire course when you finish. Go right into enacting 3.0 in all your moves and thoughts. Now, what I want you to do right now is get up and go to work. Excuse me. Listen, the course is over. All you need to do, if you need to do it, is enroll in SWU. Stay on my Facebook page. Hit me, AskRosebud@gmail.com. We can talk about it. We can do anything you want to do. I want you in SWU because I want you to get the most out of this. All right, I'm gone.